Hey guys, this is John here in Los Angeles with the Alpha Channel update for Saturday, August 17th, 2024. And today I actually have God Country number 5. One copy, front and back and everything in between. I didn't look and see who did the cover. If this is Jeff Shaw, it's really well done. And I don't hate the illustration in this book. It's really good. My complaints have been so far with this story. And the difference between building a character and selling a story, right? Like, it's a hugely different thing. A character anyone can come in and do. A character other people want to come in and do. A story has a beginning, middle, and an end. A story is like a movement. A revolution keeps on going. There's another word for a movement, and the French call it merde. So this is a great black and white cover. I love this cover. Usually issue 5 covers aren't worth much, but if this was a number 1 and a virgin cover, it'd really be worth something. So what's going on here? I did read this. This is a story of how the blade Valifax was forged. It was forged from entire like solar systems, galaxies, whatever, compressed into one thing. So it's all these beings. It was forged in atrocity, essentially. Atum, who is this guy down here at the bottom, Atum, forged this blade in war. He's supposed to be like Odin, very much, or Zeus, or Jupiter. These are his children, Aristus and Belgrim. Or maybe that's a female. That's a female, so I don't know who the female is. I think we meet her in this one. I read this morning and I already don't remember it. I try and read them and let it sink in for a couple hours before I talk about it. So, God, what is happening here? Yeah. This is Aristus telling Atum, his father, Emmett Quinlan won't give his sword back. And his father says, you go down there and get it, and you don't come back without it. You understand? Which is fair enough. He forged it. It's his sword. The other thing they pointed out is that this is a dying kingdom, that these are old gods that no one remembers. A little bit like, well, Ozymandias, you know. The gods in Neil Gaiman stuff have this same sort of weakness. Once people start to forget about them, they lose their power. And so that's clearly what's going on here. These people need to be reminded that they are their betters. And Aristus comes down to deal with them at Quinlan, and they have a big old fight. The power of Valifax is that whoever is holding it can't be hurt. And they gain more power the more you fight with them. So it's kind of like the Hulk in that way. The Hulk absorbs energy, or at least he did in a few of the comics. In a few of the comics, the more Hulk fought, the more, missiles you launched at him, the stronger he got. I don't know if that's typically the way it's supposed to go, but they have done that a few times. So here is the explosion so big it blows out the windows in the house. This is a house the sword is already rebuilt once. And here, Janie, Roy's wife, is leaving. She's terrified. And she did this earlier. Another huge explosion. Their dad might be really hurt this time. I think it's in this one where... Yeah, so Emmett now has like God power. The more you hit him, the bigger he gets, the stronger he gets. He's attacking Aristus, who's the god of war, the son of Autumn. He's basically Ares. And Roy, his son, finally gets his attention and says, you're terrifying my family. And this is where the dad, this is what I mentioned in the last issue. They had this opportunity where he went to hell, where it could have kind of sunk in a little bit, but his rage got the better of him, and he killed Belgrim, the god of the underworld. And here his son has to kind of spell it out to him. You're terrorizing my family. It's not your world anymore, Dad. Sort of like a grandfather, well, son telling a grandfather. And look at what you've done, Look around you. It's not your sword. And the other thing, which is kind of cool, now that the kid is explaining this and getting this into Aristus, is also able to speak reason to Emmett and be like, look, yeah, it's not your sword. You have to give it back. You can't keep it. It's not yours. It doesn't belong here. And then, so Emmett decides he has a big, bright idea. He's not going to give it back to them. He's going to set Valifax free. Because Valifax is essentially a slave, right? This is the city, I believe, that it was forged from. It was all these people and, beings compressed into the one blade, and it's the power of all of them. And so I guess his plan in number 6 is to set it free. And, it'd be like if someone set the city of Kandor free so that they didn't have to be Superman's bitches anymore, constantly doing his dirty work, experiments, and, whatever else he needs them to work on. And we also have a Yggdrasil card for today. Here's the box. It is a beautiful box. You guys can pick up this deck. It's really nice. I don't think it was too expensive, and the cards are bigger than, I think they seem a little bit bigger than the Wildwood Tarot cards. We have today I looked at it and I forgot already. No, Njord, who is the god of revenue and economy, basically got the god of frugality, although he does seem to eat a lot, so might not be that frugal with the butter. But I do love these cards. They're really nice. I would love to have the time to, I wish I could have 6 lifetimes. I would be a colorist. I would be an illustrator. This is the book. As it is, I'm a writer. I did another chapter last night, 68 pages now. I have a third novel that's at 120, 117 or 112 pages. The first 2 novels are like 700 pages each. So it's a lot of work to do if I want to put out another novel. I'd really kind of rather put out a game or comic books. I feel like I can reach a bigger audience that way. I feel like the novel / audiobook listening to audience is very limited. Speaking of which, Legacy of a Mad Scientist, Ashley and Jeffrey Fox go on the run from corrupt government agents attempting to steal her father's legacy to her, the Micronics, a mental computer interface, an AI, sentient AI. And in the sequel, Legend of Ashley Fox, Ashley and Jeffrey are at the Angel City Juvenile Detention Facility and Orphanage, and they have to unite the gangs against the gang of serial killers who run the place and are preying on the children. Then we have years later in Ashley's lifetime, Ashley Fox Last Valkyrie. This is a PDF here in the description, a comic book for you guys. Ashley Fox and Reverend Wolf rescue a bunch of children from being Pizzagated. Ashley Fox meets a Valkyrie and gets turned into a Valkyrie herself. Ashley Fox Ninja Babysitter, The Last Valkyrie. PDF here in the description. There's a bunch of other stuff in the description too. There are some links to Cliff High's Substack, Michael Sarion's Unslaved. I believe there's a link to a handout, the best handout I got in animation school, called FollowThrough in an Image, which is really good. FollowThrough in a moving image is even better. In the new Fury Road, not Furiosa, but Fury Road, the one where they did apparently 10,000 storyboards. They storyboarded every frame, pretty much, every keyframe. And they focused on keeping the action in the center of the screen so your eyes didn't have to move around. Whereas like some other movies, I think it was, I don't remember, I heard some other movie. I want to say the Sean Penn movie where he's on death row. He's the only character who's ever center in the frame. Everyone else is off to one side because everyone else wants something from him. They're angling, whereas he's centered, which is a clever bit. I think they said that that was how they pitched the film and that was what they sold it on. I heard Kurt Sutter sold Sons of Anarchy on the idea of Hamlet in a motorcycle gang. That was all they needed to hear. Now, granted, he was in a position where he had enough experience. You don't just get to walk out the street and say, hey, what if you have Jim Carrey do Gilligan's Island? It's not really enough. So, but yeah, today's another day. Tomorrow's going to be more craziness. So hope everything is going good with you guys. See you tomorrow. Bye.